quick overview of system indicators. The ND10X installer comes with 9 different indicators and other tools, so we will cover each step by step and learn about each indicator individually. We have 10X S1, S2, S3, Superphase, RSI, Stochastic RSI, MACD, Swings, and the dashboard. There are few more indicators, but they're more there for a look and technically speaking don't do anything, so I won't mention them at all. 10X S1 indicator. 10X S1 is our custom indicator that works to find potential setups in trending markets. To make it simple, 10X S1 will look for different continuation formations that have a good probability to continue to move the market in the direction of the larger trend. 10X S1 will give you an early signal slightly before the formation is over, so you will have enough time to set up your trades. So if we look at this chart, this is the Kiwi dollar on the 15-minute time frame. We have S1 signal dot appearing on the chart. Now, technically speaking, you don't need to know which of the 4 formations that our S1 is looking. All that is important to you is that more or less all of them are a breakout patterns, and you will get alert at the time. So there is not a chance that you will get alert after the setup is over and that you don't have time to react. There is always a time to react when you see the S1 formation. Let's say here, pound yen 15-minute chart. So let's say we have 3 different setups in a short period of time. So we have this S1, and this S1. All telling you one thing, that S1 continuation pattern should move us higher. And after each pattern, we've seen that move higher. Of course, it will make more sense when you learn the rules of how to set up the trade. We are going to cover that in a later video. For now, all you really need to understand about the S1 would be that it's searching for 4 different types of the continuation formations. And if you detect one of those 4 formations, you will get alert. It doesn't matter which from the 4 patterns appeared, they all are the breakout patterns. 10X S2 indicator. 10X S2 is second of our indicators that works to find potential setups in the trending markets. With the 10X S2 indicator, you can start searching for the current trend. If a bullish trend is detected, we are going to test the different EMA indicators, and during that test, we check our RSI, MACD, and Stochastic RSI. And only if they are matching the current trend do we get the print of a signal dot. This type of signal works great when we have a stronger volatility in the market. Now, when I say a different EMAs, we are testing a different EMA on a different time frames. For example, on the 15 minutes to 1 hour, we would be testing 13 EMA, on a higher maybe at 21, and on some slightly different. Despite there is no a certain EMA involved. But overall, how this indicator looks is something like this. It's same like the S1, just a different color, and will print you the arrow in a direction that you want to trade. For example, first we got the S2. I put here because it's a 5-minute chart, should be a 13 EMA. Now, that doesn't mean that you will get alert on every single test of the EMA. Only if the S2 align with the current trend and if we get the confirmation from 3 indicators like RSI, MACD, and the Stochastic RSI. So only then we are going to print alert. After that, we see a bearish one, but trend is bullish, so definitely it's fine. It's probably the early stage of the bearish trend if you don't know what's happening now. And after that, we change the trend. Our indicator detected that change of the trend, give us another bullish alert. Let's say here 1, 2, 3. All 3 alerts telling us the same thing. We should look for a continuation play. that we should trade in the direction of the trend. And the direction of the trend you can easily get by seeing the arrow is up arrow, so we want to trade to the upside. Of course, more about the rules in the coming videos. 10x S3 indicator. 10x S3 looks for potential reversal points in the market. This indicator will give only reversal opportunities. With the S3 indicator, we start by searching for divergence in two of our proprietary oscillators, and after we detect divergence on both indicators, we use Fibonacci levels to confirm if the market is overextended or not. Once everything is matching, we will have signal.print. This type of signal works best when we have a strong trends and volatility in the market. Now, compared to the S1 and the S2 that are searching for a potential place in the direction of the larger trend, S3 is one of the indicators that will search for trades against the larger trend, so reversals. Now, here we see a few S3 dots. Now, before we talk more about how to trade this part, it's much better idea to fully understand how this works. First of all, we want to see a divergence on two of our custom indicators. And only if we see a divergence in both of the indicators at the same time, we are going to use the Fibonacci retracement and use it to get how strong that was. And only if market is looking like the overextended and we reached enough Fibo levels, we want to print a potential trend reversal signal. So we have potential reversal here pointing to the downside. So we expect from that point to see a market pushing lower. Then over here, again lower. After that, over here, we detected a potential trend change to the upside. Market moves higher. After that, we got the S3 to the downside. Market didn't move at all. We moved higher to the new highs, fine. And after that, we got S3 here. We want to see a price moving lower. Market moved lower. Now, that doesn't mean that every time you see a potential signal, either that be S1, S2, S3, mean that market must go in a direction of the arrow. But from the research that we done, for example, in the S3, we have over 65 to 70% of the chance to see that reversal happening. Especially if we add a little bit more confirmation that you will learn in the later videos, we'll see how easily it will be to filter the good from the bad signals. Let's check another example. So we have here S3 potential move higher. Nothing, we done some push higher, nothing crazy, but we continue to push lower. And again, we got the S3 prior to that bottom at the market and we moved higher. And finally, after price continue to move higher, we get that divergence, we get that market is over exhausted by using the Fibo. We can say, okay, maybe there is a chance to see a push lower in the Aussie dollar. So we would look for a potential push lower from this point. 10x Superphase Indicator. The 10x Superphase Custom Indicator helps you with finding the current market phase. Once loaded on the chart, the 10x Superphase will give you a full phase study instantly. Every change in the phase indicator is going to happen in real time, giving you alerts when we change from one phase to another. This is one of the indicators that you must have on all of your charts to assist with a better understanding what system should you now use. We talked a lot about the phases and the cycles in the earlier videos. Now, we have a potential indicator that will help you with finding the phases automatically. All calculations are done by the indicator, so you don't need to overthink much about if we are in the phase 1, 2, or 3. And to make it even simpler, we have candlestick colors, different colors, just to help you better visual everything. So we have a blue here that would suggest a potential phase 1, then a light blue, a phase 2, and then a push higher, a phase 3. You can also turn on inside of the indicators the option that will print that phase 1, 2, and 3 directly in the chart. But for me, I don't like to have too much things open at the chart at the same time, since I can read the color. So just read the colors. Dark blue, phase 1. After dark blue, we are always going to have a phase 2. It will be a light blue. And after a light blue, if we see a dark blue again, it's going to be a phase 3. Also, what you can see on the super phase indicator would be the arrows that will point to the upside or the downside. And those arrows tell you the time when we have a good chance to see a decent volatility in the market. It's our custom code that detects when we can expect to see a good volatility in the market and the stronger movements, so it can help you with your trading a lot. The same thing would apply if we look for a bearish market. So technically speaking, over here we have a dark red candles. So phase 1, light red candles, a phase 2. Then next set of the dark red candles, phase 3. Again, we are printing a potential volatility in both directions. And always it's going to be like dark red or a dark blue followed by a light color and followed by a dark color again. If you see a change from a dark color, let's say in this case dark color red, and the current we have a blue dark color, it would mean that we are some sort of phase 1 to the upside. Of course, you can turn everything on and you will see that same info inside of the dashboard, so you don't need to overthink that part. But it's good to help you visually see where are you in the current market cycle. Also, you can fully customize the colors of the phase 1, 2, and 3, so you can play with that inside of the indicator settings as much as you want to help you for better visual representation of the current phases. 10x dashboard indicator. The 10x dashboard is your main dashboard where you have displayed all the information that you will need to know about your instrument at your fingertips. We have 3 key areas inside our dashboard. Market overview. This gives you an idea of when to trade, how strong a move we can expect, and how much the market moved. And the 10x radar. This gives you only the ND10X system. Quick phase overview, current signal, and quick confirmation overview. Quick trade. This gives you an automated solution to execute your next play according to the system rules. Now, if we look at the chart, this first part gives you a potential timing. We are displaying the average hourly move of the 24 hours of every pair. So you can see when you have a potential to see the strongest momentum. The white bar represents the current candle, so the current hour. Below that, we have this part about the average market move. So you get the average of 15 minutes move, 1 hour, and daily candle. So let's say in this case, we can expect to see on average the 5 pip move every 15 minutes, average of the 10 pip move on the hourly candle, and average of the 59 points every single day. The final part gives you the statistic overview of how much market moved today, this week, and this month. Below that, we have ND10X radar part. We have a display of the current phase. In this case, this would be a phase 1 to the downside. After it, we have the S, that's black. If we have a signal, you will see there, it will tell you S1, S2, S3, and it will tell you what direction you want to trade. Below that, you have RSI MACD, stochastic RSI, giving you that quick overview of the market if it's bearish or bullish. So RSI here would be bearish, MACD bullish, stochastic RSI bearish. Of course, You will learn more about that and what you need to see there once we start explaining the rules. The final part of the quick dashboard is the quick trade setup part. Here, you will be able to quickly press S1, S2, S3, depending on what kind of the setup you want to trade. From that point, click quick long, quick short, and you can automatically set up your next trade. It's that simple. So we try to make everything as much automated as we could. 10x RSI indicator. The relative strength index, usually called the RSI indicator, is one of the basic indicators that many traders use every day. The RSI is an oscillator that identifies oversold and overbought conditions, and like many oscillators, the RSI scales from 0 to 100. If price goes below 30, we say that market is oversold, and if price goes above 70, that the market is overbought. We are going to use the RSI indicator just as confirmation, and that's all. More about that when we cover the ND10X rules. For now, let's check on a simple way to use the RSI correctly. So on the RSI, you can, in my view, check that one of two things: divergence or a potential trend change. Divergence would look like this. We see the price making the low and the lower low, while on the RSI, we have the low and the higher low. So there is a disagreement between a price and the indicator value. That's what we call a divergence. And if you want to get a potential ending of the trend, what I like to do on the RSI, and why I always have the RSI on my chart, would be just drawing a trend line, and a break of that trend line can be the early warning that the short-term trend can change. So drawing like this, and that's really all you need to do. Of course, it doesn't mean that once you break that trend line, the trend must change. But it's really a decent confirmation and can be an early warning if you are in a trade and you are seeing the early trend change, so you can easily get out of the trend faster. 10x MACD indicator. The MACD is a technical analysis tool and very popular one. MACD is an acronym for moving average convergence and divergence. It is frequently used in forex trading and has evolved into different looking versions, even though all are essentially the same. Our 10x MACD comprises of two lines: the MACD line, that would be a red line, and the signal or average line, how a lot of people like to call it, it will be blue. We didn't include the MACD histogram since I really never find any useful information there. We are going to use the 10x MACD indicator just for confirmation, and that's all. More about that when we cover the ND10X rules. For now, let's check a simple way to use the MACD correctly. Okay, now let's check the MACD on the EURUSD. So same chart as the RSI. We are using the MACD similar to the RSI. We can use it to spot the divergence, and we can use it to watch for the cross in these two lines. Now, for divergence, let's see here. We have high, higher, high, and in the MACD, we have a high and the lower high. So disagreement between the price. Also, when crossover happened, so when the red line crossed above the blue line, we continue to move lower. And let's see here. We have low and the lower low, and on the indicator, the same divergence that we got on the RSI. But once the MACD crossed, market really continued to move higher. So that's, in my view, the most easiest way to use this indicator. Maybe I wouldn't bother searching for a divergence in both RSI and the MACD, because most of the time they are going to give you the same thing. So I would use probably more the RSI for a divergence and more use the MACD for the crossover as a confirmation. 10x stochastic RSI indicator. The stochastic RSI is an indicator used in technical analysis that ranges between 0 and 1 or 0 and 100 on some charting platforms, and is created by applying the stochastic oscillator formula to a set of relative strength index values rather than to standard price data. Using RSI values with the stochastic formula gives traders an idea of whether the current RSI value is overbought or oversold. The 10x stochastic RSI is represented with bars, and we have 4 different bars. Light red would mean that stochastic RSI oscillator is between the 20 and the 50 range. The red would mean that stochastic RSI is below the 20 level. Light blue, the stochastic RSI is between 50 and the 80, and the blue, the stochastic RSI is above the 80 level. We are going to use the 10x stochastic RSI indicator just for confirmation, and that's all. More about that when we cover the ND10x rules. You can't basically use this indicator with other systems. It's slightly designed to work with the ND10x, at least the way it's currently showing. For example, we have blue bar, that means that stochastic RSI oscillator is at 80 or higher. We have the light blue, meaning between 50 and 80. We have the red, that's below 20, and the light red, meaning 20 to 50 levels. Now, you can use it with the other parts and say if we have that blue really strong, let's say dark blue bar, we can expect to see a top forming soon. And if we see the dark red bar, that we are going to see the bottom soon. But overall, you can use just stochastic RSI for that. It's going to be much clearer once we cover the rules of the system. 10x swing indicator. The 10x swing indicator is a special designed indicator to define highs and lows in the market. 10x swing point can help you to understand high and low points. It makes it so you can just start counting highs and lows and get the current trend easier. 10x swing point can become a good indicator of support and resistance levels. This will help you spot support resistance faster. Here is how our swing point indicator look. So we are displaying just a simple red dot to the high and the low of the market. So for example, over here we would see the swing high point, and over here a swing low point. And if you see more lower points like lower lows, lower highs, it's going to be a first clue that we are in the, let's say, a bearish market. Also, it's going to come handy when you are drawing a potential support resistance zone, since they are going to give you that high and the low points that you are looking for. So if you're not a fan of the line chart that we talked, you can just use our swing indicator to help you to draw a support and resistance levels. That's all for this video. I hope you get some idea of what indicators we packed in the ND10X system. There are probably a little bit more, but more about them later. Now it's time to start explaining the rules of the system.